Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to another Laboratory Tuesday. My name is Tory. I'm a holistic nutritionist using humor, nutrition, movement, mindfulness, and positive psychology to love myself and my people. And this is a video I do each week called Laboratory Tuesday, where we tweak or change something in the lab. And so this week we're talking about our collective kryptonite, which is disconnection and distraction. And so I've been thinking about this a lot because we all have our own means of disconnection and distraction based on our traumas and our experiences. So as you've heard me speak about a lot, I use food to disconnect and distract myself often. And it is my habitual distraction, meaning if I am to go into autopilot, that is my habitual distraction. It's not a conscious choice. Our distraction is not usually a conscious choice. It's a habitual distraction. So I will give you an example. When we moved to Indiana, I was overwhelmed, and every time we're overwhelmed with discomfort, we have a choice, right? We stand at a fork in the road and we have the choice of closing our eyes and leaning back and falling into our habitual distraction and kind of letting the tide take us. And so I did that in a way. I just kind of surrendered. I wasn't really kind to my body. I didn't pay attention. And every time I got overwhelmed, I, instead of walking through my specific discomfort in the moment, I would point to food and my body and allow that obsession to take over because I'm comfortable with that obsession. I know what that looks like. I know that I can obsess over the shape, the size of my body forever. And it will never, ever fix itself. And that is safe to me because I know that there's nothing at stake, right? Or at the fork in the road, anytime we're uncomfortable, we can choose the other direction and we can say, nope, keeping both eyes open right now. I'm going to be fully present and I'm going to walk my little booty down this new path and I'm going to transcend this obstacle so I can grow out of it, right? Okay, so we all have many forms of distraction and habitual destruction, right? And so I think that we look at things like an eating disorder or like alcoholism or a heroin addiction, these really big, dense addictions. We can look at those and that can make sense. But what we're forgetting is that there are so many soft addictions, these little tiny distractions that pull us out of our reality every time we're uncomfortable. So some examples of this might be obsessively reading the news. Every time you are bored of doing data research at work and you're like, I need something else to do, you obsessively check the news, or you obsessively check social media, or you get up and you eat a bite of chocolate. And so why I call this our collective kryptonite is because it's these little tiny moments that add up throughout a day where we are pulling ourselves out of the present, pulling ourselves out of our personal alignment and allowing ourselves to live this foggy existence that's either here nor there, and that feels like crap. So if you think of last time that you were stressed, I guarantee it's because your body is in one room, but your mind is in another room. So every time you're stressed, all you can do is just constantly say, nope, gonna bring my mind to the same room that my body is in, and I guarantee your stress will start to dissipate. So how can we live more presently? How can we overcome this kryptonite? Well, the three steps to positive change are willingness, awareness, and empowered choice, right? I talk about this all the time. Number one is you're at that crossroads, right? Something uncomfortable happens, you're at the crossroads. And this is the point where you say, no, I'm willing to pick something else. I don't want to lean back into my habitual destruction. I'm willing to pick something else. So that is step one, right? That's just saying, fudge, this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to pick something else. I'm not going to lean on my old tactics for comfort, like eating that chocolate, like looking at sensationalized news, like checking my Instagram likes for the 9,000th time today. I'm going to pick something else, and it's going to be really uncomfortable, but I'm willing to pick something else. So that's willingness, number one. And then number two is awareness. It's around going, okay, I see this pattern here. I now understand every time I'm uncomfortable that this is what I want to lean to, right? And maybe I'll write it down, or maybe I'll make a mental note, or maybe I'll tell my friend. So now it's in my consciousness. I know. So that's awareness. And then number 3 is making an empowered choice. So we're at the fork in the road. We're willing to make a different choice. We have to know what the habitual destruction choice is, so we cannot choose that. And then step 3 is making an empowered choice, saying, okay, I'm empowered. I'm making this choice out of love. I am going to walk straight through my discomfort and pick something else. Pick something that is more supportive of my growth. Glennon Doyle Melton, I always want to call her Glennon Melton Doyle. Glennon Doyle Melton talks about this all the time. She calls it the hot potato. So like anytime you meet somebody who's particularly nasty, like they have a bad attitude, or somebody who is violent, or somebody who is addicted to a substance, the pain comes to them and then they pass it on like a hot potato. So they use the heroin, or they take a drink of alcohol, or they're nasty to you. It's like they're passing on the hot potato of discomfort, where really the growth happens when we hold on to the motherfucking hot potato and we get through it. And she also says that every time you pass the hot potato, it's like you're a caterpillar and you're just about to turn into a butterfly and you hop out of your cocoon. Transcend the discomfort and become a butterfly. Okay, so in short, our collective kryptonite is disconnection. So how can we vow to stay connected? We can commit to the 3 steps to positive change. Willingness, we have to be willing to stay connected. 2, awareness. We have to look at the big picture and be really honest about our bullshit. What is your bullshit? What is your mode of disconnection? If it's social media, maybe set a limit to checking social media 5 times a day. If it is leaning on crappy foods, make a commitment to not allow crappy foods in your cupboards until you can really get a grasp on it. You know what your crap is. Be brave enough to transcend it. And then 3, make an empowered choice. Make a choice from love. Not from a fear that you're not going to get to eat chocolate cake again. Not from a fear that you might have to delete your social media. Not from a fear that you're missing out on something. Make it from a loving choice, something that's going to nourish you. So that is all for this week's Laboratory Tuesday. I will be back next Tuesday. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below or send me an email at tory@toryduba.com. If you have a topic that you'd like me to cover, I would be so happy and honored to do so. So please let me know. Love you, love you. Happy Tuesday.